Day for Eugene Bullard, the first black fighter pilot, the streets of Columbus, Georgia, in the early 1900s were not kind to a young black boy with big dreams. Eugene Jacques Bullard grew up hearing his father's voice telling him, in France, they treat a man like a man. Those words took root in him like a seed. By the time he was 11, Eugene had run away from home. He drifted through the South, picking up odd jobs, sleeping in fields and barns, and learning one lesson after another about how the world treated those with dark skin in America. His mind was fixed on one destination, France. At 16, he stowed away on a ship and crossed the Atlantic. Paris was everything his father had promised vibrant, alive, and, most importantly, free of the racial shackles he'd known all his life. Eugene boxed professionally, danced in clubs, and found himself part of a thriving community of artists and outsiders. When World War I broke out, he didn't hesitate. He joined the French Foreign Legion, fighting in brutal trench warfare. Wounded twice, he could have stopped there, but he volunteered for aviation training. In 1917, he earned his wings, becoming the world's first black fighter pilot. His Spad biplane carried the name to La Sanqui Cool East Rouge, all blood runs red. Bullard flew combat missions over the Western Front, dueling in the skies above Europe. He was celebrated in France as a hero, decorated for bravery, and welcomed in places that would have turned him away back in America. But when the United States entered the war, Bullard applied to transfer to the U.S. Army Air Service. The answer came back in cold, bureaucratic words: "We do not accept colored pilots." After the war, he returned to Paris, running a nightclub that became a hotspot for jazz musicians, writers, and even royalty. When the Nazis invaded France in World War II, Bullard fought again, this time in the French resistance. Eventually, he returned to the United States, but in the country of his birth, his heroism was forgotten. He worked as an elevator operator in New York City, a quiet man with an extraordinary past. In 1994, more than 3 decades after his death, the U.S. Air Force posthumously commissioned him a second lieutenant. Lesson of the day: your worth isn't defined by the recognition you receive. It's defined by the life you live and the values you refuse to surrender. Eugene Bullard's life was proof that dignity and courage know no borders, and that a man can be a hero even if his own country refuses to see it.